Hello and welcome to the Housing.com Project Talk webinar. In focus today is the Melia First Citizen Project in South Gurgaon. I would like to tell our audience members that this is a senior living project. And today, apart from talking about the project itself, we'll also talk about the concept of senior living projects and the value addition that these kind of projects can create in the lives of senior citizens. Here to give us more information about the project and the concept itself, we are joined by panelist Anubhav Jain, who's the director with Silver Glades Group. Hi, Anubhav.
Hello.
Hi. Arun Gupta is the CEO of Age Ventures India. Sir, great to have you with us.
Hello.
Hi.
Pleasure being there.
Yes. And Deepak Bhatta is the director of marketing and sales for eGlue Smart Home Systems. So panelists, welcome once again. Before we get down to the Q&A, it would be great if all of you could give a brief introduction about the companies that you're representing. So Anubhav, why don't we start with you?
So thank you, Jomar, and really appreciate all the efforts from Housing.com and your entire group. I think you guys are doing some great work there in this real estate space, especially residential. And I am Anubhav Jain from Silver Glades Group. We are a boutique developer based in Gurgaon, near New Delhi, and we specialize in residential, commercial, as well as golf-based leisure developments. And we've been around for more than 30 years in the business, and this has been one of the first projects where we're doing senior citizen homes, and very excited to discuss and share more details with you guys about the exciting and upcoming project. You may know us from some of the projects we've done in the past, like the Laburnum, the Ivy, the Peachtree, the Tardhan Valley Golf Resort, the Classic Golf Resort, all based in Gurgaon and Manasa region. And look forward to having your questions and discussing further.
Absolutely. Mr. Gupta?
Yeah, I'm Arun Gupta. I'm heading Age Ventures India. We're a social organization. We normally work with the developers, help them conceive a retirement home project, and lead them through till the end of the construction stage when we step in and come in as an operating partner.
Oh.
We are already running two projects, one in Bangalore, which was worked along with us by Brigade. It's called Parkside. We are running one in Ahmedabad, which is fairly automated retirement home. It's a villa based. It's called Praram. We don't have our own brand. We go and promote the brand of the developer, hoping that they will do multi-locations.
Absolutely.
And then we got Gurgaon, under which should be ready by whatever time Anubhav delivers. But we got two which should hopefully be ready before them. One in Calcutta, which is called Jagrati Dham, being developed by Infinity Infra of Calcutta. And in Jabalpur, it's called Krishna Shreya. It is being developed by a society which is which does on Lord Krishna. So it's called Maharaj Gopalji Maharajji Trust of Jabalpur. These are the 5 projects we've got. We got 2 more, which is on held up stage, one in Lucknow and one in Hyderabad.
Okay. Great. Deepak, why don't you tell us about eGlue?
Yeah, hi. Thank you, Jomar. And first of all, let me just thank Anubhav and from Silver Glades Group for getting us involved in this project, and also Mr. Gupta. So this, of course, eGlue is a smart home brand from Bangalore, based out of Bangalore, and we are an Indian company which has built smart home products that works for the Indian conditions. So we are an 8-year-old company, and of course we've built the entire technology from scratch, and then started our operations on sales and marketing from the end of 2016 onwards, and we have been majorly associated with a lot of real estate developers, or a lot of now. This is, of course, this project is of course quite a different one, and this is for the first time we are again. Of course, we have got requirements from different real estate companies similar to this, but again, it is very specific. But this is more of a complex project, completely different one, and it's a great thing to be part of this entire journey. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Deepak. So my
Yeah.
first question is for Mr. Gupta. Now, I'd like you to sort of set a bit of a context for us, in terms of the senior homes market. So, we've observed, over the last decade or so, there has been a shift in perception where at one point it was seen as a negative thing. It was seen, there was a social perception as well, that you take up a home in a project like this only when your kids are not willing to take care of you. And cut to now, where people are planning ahead to sort of invest, in senior living projects. So, sir, tell us a little bit about the evolution of the senior homes market in the country, and what do you think is, important about this segment? Why should developers, why should home buyers, why should we be looking at senior homes more seriously right now?
Let me try to handle this question. This is a very big question and I can talk. I think you've got a time limit. Uh, Let me take it on a very macro, on a total economy basis, come down to a bigger macro and then to a micro level. Let's look at a number.
Yeah.
As on today, we are seniors are about, which is called 60 and above, are about 9% of the population at about 115 million.
Yeah.
But 2050, and that's 30 years, it's time when all the other three panelists other than me would be looking at their old age over there. By that time, this number is going to be 20%.
Yeah.
That's the remarkable shift that is going to take place in the old people. So what I'm expecting, the number that I expected is that there'll be about 310 million elders above 60 by 2050. And it's not that far off.
Yeah.
Contrasted to the 0 to 15. Now, 0 to 15 we talk because that is the age when the people grow, the children grow up to become the productive for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
They are at the moment 28%,
Okay.
which is what is called 380 million children. In 2050, there will be only 300 million.
Okay.
So there will be that advantage we have of the youth, all is gone. But 2040, that peaks off and it slides. So what is going to happen? You're going to have 300 million elders.
Yeah.
You're going to have children who are going into the productive age. And please remember, it's not only looking after them. It is that you have a large non-productive manpower for which the production has to be made. The GDP has to be produced to be feed them. They are part of the GDP. So on a macro basis, there is no manpower available to look after an elder.
Yeah.
That, if we say on a graduated basis, on a scale, you can draw it, it may be a hockey stick or what, that is one part. The second part that is taken place when I come into, not onto global, but into a smaller thing, is that there being a aged care has traditionally been a family. The son looks after the father, and so on and so forth. It has been going on for generations. That, and how was the son looking after? The son never looked after. It was always the daughter-in-law who looked after the elder.
Yeah.
Now, it is well documented that the majority that the woman's role in the society has undergone a change. A woman is more an external person like the men. And the women are also working. So there is no lady caregiver available in the house to look after an elder. So if you really look at everything else is a smaller thing, but the main picture that emerges is there aren't enough people available. There are women who are looking after them that are not available to look after them.
Yeah.
Life is getting longer. One is not allowed to die when one wants to die.
Yeah.
And the quality of the life that one has, is that, see, earlier what used to happen, they lived well, they ate well, they were very active and all, but at some point of time, they had something and other, and then there was a short period and a drop dead. So it was like a square, you come down and straight line down, practically 75-degree angle from the top. But now that drop comes, at some point of time, the health deteriorates,
Yeah.
medical intervention starts, and then starts coming spiking.
Yeah.
So the period a person is dependent on a support system is far, far longer than what it was earlier. On top of it, we've got to reduce manpower.
Yeah.
There's not enough people available, and the person who's a veteran or taking care of is far longer period. It can be 5 years, it can be 6 years. In fact, Atul Gawande has got a beautiful curve on that in his book Being Mortal, which is considered the Bible for anybody entering into in this industry to read that next maybe.
Yeah. So,
So that is one. And the other thing is societal changes that have taken place. The people, as the children have grown, they get married late. The woman that comes into the family comes in as a stranger. There's not a typical daughter-in-law who would do the cooking together. The whole lot of societal change. The families are getting independent. The children are migration that has taken place. People are migrated one place to another. The elders are not able to comfortable moving there. So the total societal change is such that it is getting difficult for generation. And independence, the education system, the exposure to that. The children in the 30s are not comfortable in the upper middle class at piece of the society anymore staying with their parents.
Yeah.
They tend to move out.
Yeah.
It's only in the lower middle class that the economies of working and the scale dictate that they live together with the parents.
Yeah.
But
So,
otherwise one is tending to move out. So
Yeah.
those are they can be many sub-reasons and other, but attributable, if I want to talk, this could be the main reason that is driving the market of senior living.
yeah. So, it's interesting you've mentioned the word market, because that's the part I'm coming to. So you've given us the big picture, the macro picture. My next question is for you and Anubhav as well. What are in the next 5 years, where do you see this market growing? What kind of demand and supply are we expecting to see in the senior living space? Anubhav, would you like to weigh in first?
Sure, Jimur. So, I mean, I totally agree with what Mr. Gupta is saying. I think there are a lot of, socio-economic reasons why there are a lot of changes that are happening in the family structure. And as Mr. Gupta said, we're overall an aging population, and the number of seniors doubling in the next 30 years, I think, is a huge number there. I think overall, if you look at it in North India, this trend is picking up now. Of course, South India has been ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
And I think folks who are more well-educated and well-positioned and professionals, especially with those, with children living abroad, I find that this is a trend which is definitely going to catch on. And like you mentioned, 5-year horizon, I think even as early as next 1 or 2 years. And I mean, right now, even though we're in the COVID phase, as we all say, I think what COVID has done is actually highlighted the need of, having, homes which are geared up for you. And especially geared up for seniors, so that their needs and wants are taken care of, and technology can be kind of leveraged to actually create some solutions for them. Because like the previous panelist said, it's impossible to get help. It's impossible to to be able to get all the services that you want, and people have to increasingly become more self-independent. And adopting technology is a way of doing that. I think moving into a senior home is also a way of doing that.
Yeah. Mr. Gupta, do you believe, that the next 5 years are going to be crucial for the segment? We will see a maturing of the senior living market. What are your thoughts?
I think I'll need some time to answer this question, because you see, what one has to see is that this is an evolving market.
Yeah.
Where is the need coming in and where is the person coming into it? So what has happened is the people who are looking at this market today are those who want to right size themselves.
Yeah.
Inflation has hit into. You imagine a person who could have done well for himself starting as a management trainee in 1970 in one of the big multinationals like ICI, at that time it used to be there, ITC and 5-6 brands, what is called a stipend of 1,100 rupees, 80 rupees going into the PM. Now those people could have retired if they had done averagely well with a corpus of what, a couple of crores or something. So with this inflation and the interest rate going down, which was never planned, which was 12%, 14% to 6.5%, the people have forced to right size themselves and cash the larger asset. Children have moved out. They don't need that larger asset. It is difficult to maintain it. So the need is emerging to come in for the right size property there. That's where the stemming point. These people may not be able to help the service industry, the people who are there to drive profits out of it. The EBITDA margins may not come out of this segment. That will come after maybe 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when people who own stock option category start retiring and they have that thing. I have people who have got a few hundred crores, but when they look at their expense with us, they are so miserly that they talk really of 10, 100 rupees or 200 rupees in a month expense. So you are catering to that market. Now, when you look at demand, you are looking at that.
Yeah.
But if I were to, CII did a study that the demand right now is about 350,000, depending on EWS and high income and middle income, going to by 2025 to something about 700, doubling the 700,000 units. But that's the side of the demand that we are talking about.
Okay.
So the need that is coming out is that there's demand. In fact, there may be enough to do for the middle age available in stock. The developers have to divert their capacity towards building right size senior living accommodation.
Yeah.
So that's the way it emerges from the arithmetic.
Absolutely.
The only thing is the mindset, as Anubhav was talking about, that the mindset in some cases is in norm, it is still considered, though when we have gone to take people to Anubhav's home, the parents have gone with their son or the daughter-in-law openly, and they will exercise the choice of buying it together. So it's not that. I think they are opening up, but yes, not as a traditional been a slow starter in a new trend compared to South.
Yeah. Now, Anubhav, the interesting thing about your project is most of the senior living projects that I have visited, they've all been standalone projects. Now, your project, it's part of a larger township. So I'm interested to know the reasoning behind this. Why did you plan it like this? Can you explain that to us?
Sure. No, you hit upon a very important aspect of our project and how it's set apart. So at Melia First Citizen, it's actually a 17-acre complex, and we have 12 towers that we have designed. Out of those 12 towers, these 2 towers are specifically designed for senior citizens. So when we partnered with Mr. Gupta's company, Age Ventures India, the objective was to create a senior living community as a subset of a larger community, because we felt very strongly that, one of the biggest, you can say down points of, aging is obviously loneliness and is isolation. And so we felt that a lot of other developers, were developing projects which are standalone projects where, you typically only have people of your own age group, of your own age bracket. What our objective was to actually make an inclusive community where senior citizens, while they have their own space, they have their own privacy, they have their own club, they can also enjoy mingling with all age groups. Yeah. And they're part of a larger township where they can use the larger clubhouse, the other exclusive facilities, and see and hear young voices and, and be part of it. Because I think there's a lot that we all as younger folk can learn from senior citizens. And I think we ourselves can give a lot of our time to senior citizens, which are actually, so it's kind of a mutually enriching kind of a proposition.
Yeah.
And that is what I think really sets us apart. And that's why we planned it.
Can I chip in a little bit?
Sorry.
Can I chip in?
Yeah, sure, please.
Added to this is, he has hit the main points, but I thought I'll add, senior citizen homes tend to be smaller developments.
Yeah.
They are 1 lakh, 2 lakh square feet, 2.5 lakh square feet. Real estate industries become industry of scale.
Yeah.
Costs of maintenance, the numerator is divided by 1 million square feet or by 200 square feet, makes a hell of a lot.
Absolutely.
We have done 2 which are semi-integrated. So when we did that, one of the things we came up was that we are going to do only integrated living further. A simple example is that 4 security guards to man a gate of senior living alone is 1 rupee per month per square feet. Compared to if that gate cost is allocated on 10 tasks like Anubhav has. So we found that there was economics, it gets cheaper for them, they enjoy more facility, and their life is more aspirational.
Sure.
Primarily, the life is more aspirational because they have the swimming pool. You can't have a swimming pool for 150 apartment. The cost of about 48 lakhs spread over that is too high on the cost of the apartment. So you have a swimming pool, you have a tennis court, badminton, you got everything there, and you have this cocoon for yourself within a larger area where you're dining, the medical and all. So they get more facilities for less money.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And they are able to share the joys and others.
Absolutely. Anubhav, we're anyway speaking about amenities now. I know that, as for a senior living project, the amenities, have to be in a certain category. There are certain kind of needs, that these homeowners have. Can you tell us a bit more about the kind of amenities and facilities that you're offering,
Sure.
the people who are buying into Melia First Citizen?
So, I mean, as a inclusive community, like we mentioned, there are many features which we have given at the project level, which are available to all residents. Of course, we have a fabulous clubhouse with swimming pools and tennis courts and badminton courts and a golf chipping green and activity rooms, card room, billiards. I mean, the list really goes on. So that's as part of a general offering that we have for all our residents. The senior citizens, apart from all these that I've just listed and more, which are too long to list actually, we have a separate clubhouse for senior citizens. That clubhouse actually takes care of a lot of the requirements, such as it has a separate dining room. It has, a physiotherapy center for your daily aches and pains. It has, high dependence care rooms, if somebody was to fall sick and they're to be transferred to a hospital. So the in-between time, we have a tie-up through Age Ventures with the Artemis Hospital chain here in Gurgaon. So there's a doctor on call, there's a 24-hour nurse. There are activity rooms with a lot of different activities planned for senior citizens. In terms of features in the apartment level, there are, plenty of features, right, starting from the design. So, I mean, when we sat with Mr. Gupta and their architects and our architects, which are ARCOP from Montreal, who are, leading architects here, when they designed and sat and took all the input. So each and every apartment is designed to be wheelchair friendly. I saw some comments in the question and answer segment was somebody asking about, anti-slip floors or what is the way to prevent falls. So actually all our apartments have anti-skid tiles in the living room as well as in the bathrooms. We also have an emergency push button. So kind of like what you have in a hospital. So if you were to have a fall or if you were to have any kind of emergency, you can just push a button and, some help will be on the way. Our bathrooms are disabled friendly. So, there are shower seats, there are, grab bars. The kitchens have under counter space. So somebody on a wheelchair who'd like to cook can actually go in to the kitchen and actually, cook a meal without any problems. There are double peep holes, for people who are on a wheelchair, again, to peep through a hole to see if they want to answer the door. The edges of the walls are cornered, the corners are actually rounded so they don't get hurt. So there's all kinds of, features. I mean, the list really goes on. I would invite our viewers to actually check out our website and, see more details. I mean, there's a lot that's gone in, a lot of effort and planning has gone in. And I must commend Mr. Gupta, and the Age Ventures India team for having pointed us all in the right direction, because if you see the difference between a regular apartment and the First Citizen apartment, you'll see that there's a lot of difference. And at site, actually, we've built a sample apartment to demonstrate these differences.
Yep.
And now, of course, we have a lot of different new offers, which we'll be talking about, I'm sure, towards the end of the webinar. So those will also get highlighted.
As a matter of fact, we have an interesting video where I think it will give our audience some kind of an indication about how do people staying in these kind of projects, what is their thought process? Why do they choose to live in such projects? So can we have the video, please?
Is something that I had been looking for all my life. I worked for 40 years just to get to the point of being retired. But retirement doesn't mean that I'll stop working. We do realize that we are 60 and we need to be close to hospitals, pharmacy, doctors.
There will be health challenges and we need to be prepared for that. That is why we feel that living in a community with like-minded people, our own age group, having friends around you of all age groups is really a perfect life. And till now, we felt that happiness was something that was there or not there. But now for the balance years, we'd like happiness to be a choice and live happily.
Life starts at 60.
We've told all our friends, Melia First Citizen is a place for all of us to come and retire.
Well, thanks for the video. Deepak, my next question is for you. You've been sitting a little quietly thus far. So now, Melia, the other interesting part of this project is that, they have positioned themselves as a smart home project, for senior citizens.
Sorry, I had to.
No problem. This is definitely one of the first, that I have heard of. Now, can you tell us a little bit about, when you talk about smart homes for senior citizens, what kind of smart facilities, can they look forward to?
Yeah. So first of all, what I would like to start from where Anubhav had earlier mentioned. It's about leveraging the technology. So we are in a phase in our life where technology is now surrounded, like it is there everywhere, right? So that's where he is started with. So smart home, you've seen, we've done a lot of implementation on the smart home, but when it comes to the senior citizens, it always points to one very few areas. The smarter intelligence is only added in very few areas, like a panic button or a health or something like that. Right? So this is the first time a real smart and intelligent senior living community is getting built in India, to my knowledge. I've never seen, so far I've never seen, because that's the kind of thought, the kind of detailing that they have gone into, the entire management has gone into. So right from, if you look at on the project perspective, it's a smart living community of senior citizens. And here we have right from the entrance, right from the door locks to the lighting, to the geysers, to the ACs, to the TVs, everything, and like gas leak detectors. So on the safety side, panic buttons. Everything is getting connected, okay, into one single platform. You can access it from one single mobile app. Plus, you have the convenience of using this entire solution with a voice assistant. Yeah. So you always have a companion, okay, and many times it satisfies your ego. You have an Alexa, and it is always there to you as well, right? Yeah. So you have an Alexa as a companion. It's again a multilingual, so you can use a lot of languages are getting added to this. So that's where it differentiates. This project is unique and it's different because of the comprehensive nature that it has gotten to the smart and intelligent side of living as.
Yeah. These facilities, they obviously sound like they'll be very useful, but my question to you is about the TG. So a lot of people, and that includes somebody like me, the minute you hear something smart, technology enabled, it can also be intimidating. You're thinking, oh my God, this is going to be complicated. How am I going to be able to use this? So what would you like to tell people who are intimidated by technology? What will be the kind of ease of use?
So yeah, so here if you look at technology adoption as such, right? You look at from the start of 15 years back when the mobile phones came, the smartphones came, right? So from there, if you see the kind of ecosystem that it has built, right? So right now you see earlier people used to go to bank, and now it has come to your phones. No one goes to the banks, right? So that's where the technology adoption has changed, but except your phones, right? So you see, when you go out, if you have a phone, you can do everything. In an urban city like a Delhi or a Gurgaon or say Bangalore or a Bombay, if you have a phone, you can do everything. Sure. Okay. So that's where the technology has come, where except to your phones. So here, so one is that you have to remove 2 C's from this, which is it is not going to complex you in your life. It is not going to confuse you as well. But you have to add 2 C's, which is you're going to get a convenience and a comfort. Yeah. Okay, so you are always connected also. Yeah. So let's say a senior parent is living and the children is there abroad. Yeah. They know they also will get that they can share the alerts to them also. They know that their activity. They are also aware of what what is happening there. That's where the convenience is. But you cannot confuse them because they are more convenient with their conventional switches and everything, right? Yeah. So we have taken care of both the aspects. Yeah. Where yes, it has the same convenience which we have so far enjoyed, and having in their life. But of course, and also the future side is where you've added this voice assistant, and I think you see this kind of adoption, like what you have seen in the mobile phones in the past 15 years. You see the kind of penetration now that Amazon Alexa kind of a device is making. Now it has come in the regional languages also. So that's where they're going to adopt this, and I think it's just that this change has to be welcomed, and I think it's not going to confuse at all.
Yeah.
So you will have to take care of this. You have all the conventional methods. You have the mobile phone also, where you can access the entire system, plus the future, which is like a voice assistant also.
Yeah. Yeah. So I believe we have a video which sort of, will give us a better idea of what kind of facilities, we are going to get, smart home facilities. So why don't we play the video?
Meet the Echo Show 8 with 8-inch HD screen and stereo sound. It connects to Alexa and helps you access entertainment in any room of your choice. Alexa, play Family Man on Amazon Prime Video.
Playing Family Man on Amazon Prime Video.
Play your favorite song and sing along to the lyrics. Alexa, play Señorita.
Playing Señorita by Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello on Amazon Prime Music.
Make hands-free video calls to other Echo devices with screen, your Skype contacts and smartphones with the Alexa app. Alexa, call Dad. Voice control your compatible smart home devices. Alexa, switch on the lights. And interest. Alexa now also speaks in Hindi. Just say, Alexa, तुम कैसी हो?
आपने पूछा, दिल garden हो गया.
The Echo Show 8 and...
Okay. So that seems easy enough to navigate, Deepak.
Yeah, and now you have Amitabh Bachchan also.
Yes.
So recently they've added Amitabh Bachchan also to listen to you. So.
Yeah. And I'm sure that will be very popular, with a lot of users.
Of course, yes.
So I'm going to
just about the ease of use,
Yeah. So I'm going to move to the audience questions now. Mr. Gupta, there's a question, about how do we choose a senior living project? How do we know that this project is worth investing into? Can you give us a kind of checklist, which they can use to decide on, the project that they should be investing in?
First, they have to look into the apartment, whether the apartment has been designed to take care of the needs. And I'll give you a small example there. What is the size of the bedroom? The bedroom should be size of the bed, should be able to take the wheelchair, turn around, and at least accommodate 2 side tables on each side of the bed, which are 2 feet by 1.5 feet. You're going to keep the specs, possibly dentures, the mobile chargers, the lamp, the book, the medicine. So there's a sizing that is important. So one, they have to look into it. The typical 10 feet by 11 feet that is built in Coimbatore and some places is not really the thing that they will have to look at. So that is one. What then they have to look at is what are the facilities that are being provided over there. Is it meeting their aspiration life that they have been planning to retire to? Is it a typical bhojanalaya and a medical room? Because we don't have guidelines, very strict guidelines yet available. Something was framed by the government, but they aren't yet the perfect one. So that's the second thing. The third thing they have to see is what is the type of the design. Is it friendly to the place we are in? So that the cost structure is very important. At the end of the day, they have to pay for the maintenance. Yeah. They really must appreciate it. We have accommodations which are made, which are nature coming into the retirement home. Along with them comes the reptiles and monkeys and all which are roaming around in the middle of the apartment because we kept it open from the side. So it adds to the cost. It's nice to buy, difficult to afford it later on. Yeah. The important thing is compatibility and type of the thing. Because I give a very simple example. We had 2 people who were trying to look at move in immediately, but they said, okay, we'll go to Bangalore, live there, and when your first citizen is there, we'll move in. We'll buy. They went there, they came back, because they said the menu is to South Indian. Now, the menu there in Bangalore, which is some cosmopolitan, you cannot give them the cholas and this and that, because actually we talk of a dietitian, but they really want, they say हमारे खाने पीने के दिन हैं. So the point that is coming out is they really have to see the compatibility, what they need to eat and what would be available over there. Otherwise, you are a misfit and will keep. So those are some of the things that are there, and then they have to see what could be the cost structure per month that should be coming out. You can buy a fancy thing which will cost 30,000 rupees a month. There can be something which is available at 15,000 rupees a month. So those are the things that they have to look at. Medical will be the most important thing which is there. Nobody bothers about it. They all go for food and activities, but I think it's very important to look at the medical facilities there. Should that need come to be bedridden, is there a place where they can be shifted to and put there?
As a matter of fact, there is a question about the medical facilities as well. So since you're on it, maybe you can just elaborate a bit on that.
You want me to add it now or later?
No, you can just tell us a bit about the medical facilities.
Medical, what is there? Anubhav really mentioned a physiotherapy. I'll start off with physiotherapy. Typically in India, most of the place in winters or in the monsoons or in summer, some aging means some part of the body is paining somewhere. We neglect physiotherapy. So it's important to have a built-in physiotherapy room. I think that's what we have. We have a doctor who comes there, and we do not recruit a doctor on our own. We get a doctor from the hospital, because I've got no skill to recruit who's an efficient doctor, who's not an efficient doctor. We don't, as age ventures senior, none of that would happen. So we take it from the hospital. The hospital then gives us the doctor and the nurse, 24-hour nurse. And the advantage is the nurse quits, they've got a standby available. By the time we get, then the service will suffer. The doctor goes, somebody else is available. So we have that. Then we try to do a medical record keeping of the resident with us, so that they don't have to carry the bulky files. If the need comes, our file is there that can be carried with the resident to the hospital if required in emergency. Typically in emergency is that the person is alone, there's nobody to help him out. So the idea of coming to retirement home is that there's a medical record that is available that can be carried. When I say it's the developer who picks up the tab of bringing up an ambulance there. We have been trying to look at ICU on wheels, but ICU on wheels is not the right thing, because who's there to operate the ICU on wheels ambulance, except the driver and the nurse. So we get a BLS and ambulance there at site to take the person. More or less, the retirement home will be some distance away from the hospital. There's a thing called golden hour. So we save one part of the journey. Instead of ambulance coming and going, it's just going one way. Our uniqueness is that in 5 minutes flat, whenever it has happened, whether it was a villa in Ahmedabad, which is villa based, or Bangalore, in 5 minutes flat, our person is in the ambulance and whisked to the hospital. We have a tie-up with the hospital who has the record, who gives the doctor, and there the person is taken immediately, unless the person is already declared, no, I don't want to go there. For example, in Bangalore, we deal with Mr. Melia, but they said we want to go to Colombia, so yes, the person will be taken to Colombia. That's why we have a neutral ambulance. We don't have an ambulance of a particular hospital which will not go to the other place. So by and large, and then we have a set of caregivers available. We are also the only one retirement home which will have a sort of a jacuzzi for a bedridden person to be given a shower. Normally we do sponge in India. But here we can, because this is not a very healthy or a clean, it's not a dignified way of surviving. So the person who's there can be given a shower. It's like a jacuzzi, taken on such a given a bath, dried, and then taken. So the bed sores and others are not there. I think that should be covered more or less.
Anubhav, we have quite a few questions that have come in, about unit sizes, prices, if there are any offers. So I believe you do have a PowerPoint, that, will give us some insights. So can we just go through that, please?
Yeah, just give me 2 minutes before that. I'd just like to add to what Mr. Gupta is saying. Obviously, from a, from an operator's point of view, he's bang on all the points. I think from a developer's point of view, we meet with buyers every day who are looking to buy homes. And of course, since we've been marketing senior citizen homes as well. So I'd like to just add, I think anybody looking to buy a senior citizen home, there are a few things. One is, like Mr. Gupta said, first you have to check whether actually it is designed for senior living or not. So specific details like Mr. Gupta said, the size of your bedrooms, whether it's wheelchair friendly or not, whether you have those kind of amenities that we've listed out earlier. So obviously, is it truly a senior living project or is it just a retrofitted? Because these days, some of the developers, other developers I'd not like to name, what they're doing is they're just going about retrofitting senior living, concept into already designed projects.
Yeah.
So what we've done as a big game changer is actually we've designed the projects from the ground up.
Yeah.
To make it senior friendly. So I think that's the first thing to check for anybody looking to buy a senior citizen home. Second thing is obviously you want to check the credentials of the builder or the developer. Like who's the actual developer who's building it? Do they have the wherewithal? Do they have the experience or the track record? I think that goes without saying in such times.
Yeah.
Third is that how far along is the project? Are you buying into a project which has just been announced? It will take 3, 4, 5 years to deliver. Or are you looking at a project which is already at an advanced stage of being delivered? Because the likelihood of it being delivered is far greater if it is maybe a year or 2 years from delivery at the most. Third is, I think the very important aspect, which is the, who is the operator? I can build a Taj Mahal, but I cannot operate it.
Yeah.
So if I build the best senior living community in the world, but I don't have the right operator to run it, I think you're buying just a piece of real estate or you're buying a computer without the software,
True.
So I think these are the 3 or 4 key things which I think easy to remember and very important to keep in mind.
Absolutely.
Of course, in our project, we've taken care of these issues because we are a project which has been designed from scratch. We are quite far along in the development process. Our structure is already up, finishing is underway. We're at most 18 months away from delivery, as well as we have a great operator on our side too, and who's already doing other projects all over India.
Yeah.
So with that, if you'd like, we can, or if you have any other questions.
Yeah. So can we talk about the offers? Can we have the PPT, please?
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to announce First Citizen by Melia, built by Silverglades. We have a very special offer for all our viewers and for the market at large, which we're announcing today. So we have 3 sizes of apartments, starting from 950 square feet, and with an all-inclusive special pricing of 72 lakh rupees, inclusive of all charges, including furniture, including smart home, technology pack, including of club charges, car parking, everything that you heard about from us, and including GST. So starting from 72 lakhs for a 950 square foot apartment, and going all the way to a 2-bedroom with a study, which is up to 1500 square feet of 1.1 crore, all-inclusive price. Like I mentioned, this is going to be fully furnished apartment. So we have very high quality teak wood furniture, specially designed for senior citizens. We have, all electronics, white goods, air conditioning, as well as the modular kitchen. And also it will have your smart home technology, which is powered by Amazon Alexa, where all your electronic goods, everything shall operate with the voice commands, as well as many security and safety features also bundled in.
Yeah.
So since we have a little limited time, I'm just giving you the highlights here, but you're welcome to check out our Silverglades website or, search for us on Google and you'll get all the details. And we're launching today on housing.com with these very special offers. And as Meya mentioned, we have a limited inventory. Already sales have come up. We already started selling the apartments, getting a very good response. So we're more than happy to take further inquiries and have you as part of our community.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think we also have a project video, Anubhav. I think that would give our audience members, a better sense of what the project is all about. So why don't we have the project video as well?
Sure, why not?
it's all that we have time for today. We have tried our best to answer all the audience questions. Like I have said, they have gone live on housing.com. Do check out housing.com, check out their website if you have any further queries. Thank you so much for being with us today. We will see you soon. Bye-bye. Stay safe and stay healthy.